Young and the Restless full episode Thursday, September 25th reveals Sharon Newman is on the brink of dark and chaotic emotions. Horrifying dreams keep haunting her mind, making it impossible for her to sleep peacefully. For a long time, Sharon has been struggling with the memories and emotions that have weighed down her since Cassie Newman's death, and now the presence of Cameron Kirsten seems to be stirring things up. Cameron, a ghost from the past, is not only the one who caused her so much pain, but is now present in Sharon's mind, turning her into a puppet in his cruel revenge plan. Sharon's mind is in turmoil when she wakes up after a nightmare. She keeps seeing Daniel Romalotti bleeding and in pain. Those horrible images haunt her, making her increasingly restless and fearful. Sharon feels her insecurities growing, so she turns to Cameron, who she thinks is the only one who can help her escape her current situation. But Cameron is not a good friend or guide, but on the contrary, he is the source of Sharon's bad dreams and fears. When Sharon tells Cameron about her nightmares, he does not comfort her but instead urges her to make them come true. "I saw Daniel bleeding in my dream," Cameron says coldly. "So why not make it come true?" Sharon, still hesitant at first, objects to Cameron's idea. She still has some humanity left, and cannot imagine herself harming Daniel, someone with whom she once had a close relationship. But Cameron continues to sow hatred in her mind. Cameron uses every trick in the book to convince Sharon that eliminating Daniel is necessary. He reminds her of all the pain she has endured and stresses that Daniel is the cause of most of her troubles. "Remember when you were angry with Daniel," Cameron says, "use that anger for good. He deserves it, and you'll feel better when it's over." Cameron's venomous words continue to haunt Sharon, causing her to wonder if getting rid of Daniel is the only way to free herself. In addition, Cameron presses Sharon that this is the first step to putting Cassie Newman to rest and allowing Sharon to reunite with Nick. In Cameron's mind, Sharon begins to believe that Daniel's death is the key to the peace she has been seeking. The struggle between reason and hysteria leaves Sharon increasingly uncertain, and she finally decides to prepare for her final move against Daniel. Meanwhile, Daniel and Heather Stevens, with their own agendas, are unaware that they are being targeted by Sharon. Daniel, who had been against Heather's proposal to move, is now beginning to see the benefits of a new life elsewhere. They have both been through a difficult time, and with their finances dwindling, a change may be the best solution for their family, especially for Daniel's young daughter, Lucy. Lucy has been having a hard time lately, and Daniel believes that a change of scenery will help improve the situation. Although Sharon tried to hide her feelings during her last meeting with Daniel, he still feels the hatred coming from her. Daniel fears that Sharon may lose control and do something that will harm his family. With his worries gnawing at him, Daniel feels that his decision to leave the city is the right one. However, Daniel and Heather's plan to settle down elsewhere is not as easy as they thought, as Sharon, urged by Cameron, is preparing to make a dangerous move. Nick Newman, Sharon's former lover, senses something is wrong. He can't sit still when he senses Sharon's unusual behavior. Nick begins to suspect that Sharon may be falling into a dangerous spiral of guilt, and he decides to act before it's too late. With the help of Mariah and Tessa, Nick begins to plan a search for Sharon, believing that she has gone somewhere to find peace or is hiding from everyone. But what Nick doesn't know is that Sharon is getting closer to a decision that could change both her life and the lives of those around her forever. In the upcoming tense episode, Sharon will face a life or death choice. Can she overcome her own nightmare, or will the darkness completely engulf her? The pressures from Cameron and the urge for revenge are slowly pushing Sharon to the edge of sanity. Can Nick, in his desperate attempt, find Sharon before she makes her final decision? And can Daniel, along with Heather and Lucy, get out of town before they become victims of a sinister plan? Sharon Newman is facing one of the darkest periods of her life. The nightmares are increasingly terrifying and seemingly inescapable. Her mind is becoming a dangerous place where everything she fears most could come true. Sharon has faced many challenges in her life, but this time, she feels like she is on the brink of a complete breakdown. Sharon is tormented by bloody and violent dreams. In them, she sees Daniel, who was once a good friend, injured and covered in blood. She cannot understand why she is having such horrifying dreams, but the fear that she may be the cause of them grows within her. Each time she wakes up, Sharon feels her heart racing and her hands shaking. Reaching out to Cameron, the only friend she trusts at this time, Sharon tells her about the terrible nightmare she has been experiencing. Cameron, calm but calculating on the outside, did not offer any comfort. Instead, he said something that sent a chill down Sharon's spine: "Maybe you should make your dream come true." Cameron's words echoed in Sharon's mind for hours afterward. How could she hurt Daniel? No matter how haunting the nightmare, Sharon did not believe she could harm anyone. But the fear of not being able to control herself weighed on her more and more. Was Cameron trying to manipulate Sharon into doing something terrible? Sharon did not know for sure, but one thing was clear: she had to find a way out of this darkness, before it consumed her completely. While Sharon was struggling with herself, another confrontation was taking place in Genoa City. Adam Newman and Billy Abbott, two men with a feud that had lasted for years, finally could not contain their emotions. What started as a heated argument quickly escalated into violence. Billy, with uncontrollable rage, jumped in and stomped on Adam, pushing him into a corner. Billy's eyes were filled with hatred, and the veins on his neck were bulging as if they were about to explode. For a moment, it seemed like everything would end with Adam being completely knocked out, but then suddenly, Adam punched Billy hard in the face. The punch was so hard that Billy staggered and nearly fell. The fight got out of control, and if it weren't for Phyllis's intervention, things could have gotten a lot worse. Phyllis appeared, screaming for both of them to stop, and quickly pulled Billy away from the fight. But even though Phyllis intervened, the hatred between Adam and Billy had never been stronger. The two left with hostile eyes and vows that this fight was far from over. Nick and Mariah, the rescue Sharon, sensing that something is wrong with Sharon, decides to team up with Mariah to help her. Sharon seems to be in a dangerous spiral, and Nick worries that if they don't intervene soon, things could get worse. Mariah initially doesn't want to get involved in Nick's secret plans, but eventually realizes that she can't leave her mother alone in this situation. The police pursue Sharon and Cameron, who are trying to find a way to escape. Police Paul has a warrant for Sharon and Cameron's arrest, but they are planning to escape. The police will put out a warrant for Sharon and Paul everywhere. They decide to plan a rescue for Sharon, but time is not on their side. Every moment Sharon is with Cameron, the danger increases. Nick knows that they must act quickly if they don't want to lose Sharon forever. Sharon faces the truth, a dangerous turn. Back to Sharon, she begins to feel clearly that her nightmares are not simply a result of her mental instability. They may be a sign that she is about to do something terrible. Cameron's words still echo in her mind: "Make your dreams come true." Sharon is torn between fear and guilt, wondering how she can escape this dangerous situation. For a moment, Sharon looks in the mirror and asks herself, is she really the good person she thinks she is? Or is she on the path to becoming someone she doesn't recognize? For a moment, Sharon looks in the mirror and asks herself, is she really the good person she thinks she is? Or is she on the path to becoming someone she doesn't recognize? Finally, Sharon decides that she must face the truth. She won't let Cameron manipulate her, won't let her nightmares control her life. But that doesn't mean everything is okay. Sharon still faces a crucial decision, one that could change her life forever. Can she save herself from the darkness that surrounds her? Subscribe to Yonder for the latest news on our channel.